What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports, and that's a nice win for the Phillies. That is a nice win for the Phillies, a 5-2 win down in Miami, and starts off this four-game set with a nice tone to it. Mick Abel, he battled in this game. He went 5 innings. I kind of wish he went a little bit longer in this game, but I guess Rob Thompson went with the idea of him going off on a high note, him going off on a good note with he got into a bases loaded jam. No thanks to the goddamn umpires screwing him out of getting out of that second inning much quicker than, he should have, basically. And he got out of it. He allowed one run, and I blame that more on the umpire than anything else. But bases loaded jam, he gets out of it. Phillies eventually, they tack some runs more on the board. Trea Turner stays hot. Alec Bohm with a huge, insurance runs in the top of the ninth inning. Max Kepler hits another solo shot in this game off Sandy Alcantara. And your bullpen was very good. Maybe not for Matt Strahm because he struggled once again. But you see Orion Kerkering as the closer in today's game, so I wonder if that's just, going up against the Miami Marlins, that Rob's trying some different things here, or maybe that with the way that Kerkering has been pitching the past, little bit here, basically, for a while, actually, with Orion Kerkering. Does he feel the confidence to put him in the closer spot? And maybe he dominates through that position. He looked very good in that ninth inning. We'll just see how it progresses, and we'll carry on from there. But overall, this is a very good start to the series. And granted, the offense did go a little bit quiet, which was, I guess, should have been expected with the way that they were swinging a little bit in that series against the Toronto Blue Jays. But they still score 5 runs. They win the game. They get 10 hits. They went 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And overall, it was a pretty solid game from your Phillies to get the win down in Miami to start off this series. So if we just look at, I did do a lot of working before, basically during the entire Phillies game. I also have, Monday Night Raw paused in the background. So there was a lot of stuff going on, basically multitasking at this point. So I literally just finished editing for Brodes and everything's uploading now to, basically 75-95% of it is uploaded. I'm just waiting for the rest of Instagram to upload for Brodes. So I'll be like, okay, I finished just in enough time. Might as well, I'll pause Raw for a little bit and let that play the rest of it out so the commercials can stop, and then I can, I'll do this Phillies recap in the meantime to get something out for you guys for tonight. Didn't really want to skip tonight or anything like that, so that's what I got for you guys here. So, not to keep you guys hasty, let's get into today's game and see how everything, transpired. So Trea Turner, leadoff solo bomb off Sandy, and gives the Phillies a nice 1-0 lead. Marlins eventually do tie it in that bottom of the second inning, no thanks to the goddamn umpire, with basically boning Mick Abel, which should have been an inning-ending strikeout. But the Marlins eventually do score. Abel allows the bases to get loaded. He does get out of that jam off of a nice play by Bryson Stott at second base. Then you go top of the fourth inning. Max Kepler against Sandy Alcantara golfs one out of the ballpark, puts the Phillies back up 2-1. Mick Abel continues to do his thing, looking very solid in the process, and the Phillies surprisingly go to the bullpen in the bottom of the sixth. They bring out Taijuan Walker. He gets a 1-2-3 inning, so good on him. Then you go top 7. Brandon Marsh with a triple down the right field line, and then Trea Turner brings him home to score, putting the Phillies up 3-1. Then you have Jordan Romano in the bottom of the 7th inning. Besides a hit batter in that inning, he looked relatively well, so good for Romano there. Bottom 8, you got Matt Strahm on the mound. He allows the first 2 batters to get on with singles, then a fielder's choice happens, so you got first and third with 1 out for Ramirez. He hits it in the foul territory, and Philly's really, I guess, struggling to communicate where the ball is going to be, and Max Kepler makes a very awkward catch, which I was even questioning myself that should Max Kepler even have caught that ball, because he catches the ball in foul territory very awkwardly, allows the run to easily score, or maybe you could just chalk it up to, you'll trade it out for a run in that scenario, so instead of first and third still with 1 out, it's a man on first base with 2 outs against the Miami Marlins, and it did end up paying off because Strahm eventually gets out of the inning, limiting the damage, and it's still 3-2. So you go top 9. Rafael Marchand with a double to center field, misplay by the Marlins center fielder, boots it, trickles into right field after that, and he gets on second. Brandon Marsh with a nice at bat, works a walk, And also, a wild pitch allows Marchand to get to third base. Trea Turner, he put good wood on the ball. Just unfortunate that he lined out right to the right fielder, and it was hit hard enough and I guess shallow enough to where Marchand just couldn't tag up in enough time to try to go home, and probably wouldn't have been smart regardless to try to go home on that specific play. So it is first and third with a 2 out for Kyle Schwarber, and he gets hit by a pitch. The Marlins decide to challenge it. Takes a long goddamn time. They keep the call out as it was on the field. He was hit by the pitch, and then of course the Marlins decide to go and meet with the pitcher. Pitching coach comes out, I guess, to try to relax him a little bit, even though that was the longest break in the world for a goddamn review for a hit by pitch. And Alec Bohm comes up, and in a 1-2, in a 2-2 count, actually, he singles through the hole on the left side, which brings home a couple of runs with the bases loaded and 2 outs there. So very good stuff by Bohm to give Orion Kerkering some insurance runs, and he looked very good in that bottom of the ninth inning, getting a 1-2-3 relatively quickly. So that's how your Phillies game ends, by a score of 5-2. Phillies lineup today, Trea Turner, he went 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a solo shot. A very good game for him. His average is back up to 306, on base at 364. The slugging percentage for Trea is slowly going up consistently game after game. He's at 455 right now. Kyle Schwarber, he was 0 for 3 with a walk and a hit by pitch in his game. Alec Bohm, he was 2 for 5 with that, huge 2-run single in that top of the ninth inning. Nick Castellanos, he went 1 for 4. Then Johan Rojas came in for defensive replacements. He went 0 for 1. Max Kepler, he goes 1 for 4 with a solo shot. Otto Kempe goes 0 for 4. Bryson Stott 1 for 4. Rafael Marchand 1 for 4 with the double, quote unquote. And then Brandon Marsh 1 for 3 with a walk and a triple and 2 runs scored. So good on them. Mick Abel, definitely a bounce back start for him from that last appearance against the Chicago Cubs. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts on 77 pitches, 50 of those strikes. His ERA is back down to 2.21, so a good start for him. Taijuan Walker, he threw 9 pitches in the 6th inning, 1 strikeout, 6 strikes, quick inning for him. Jordan Romano threw 14 pitches, 2 strikeouts for him and a hit by pitch. Matt Strahm, 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 earned run allowed, 18 pitches. And then Orion Kerkering gets the save, 1 strikeout, 12 pitches, 9 strikes in totality. His ERA is now down to 2.54. He's basically been the Phillies' most reliable reliever lately. So good on Kerkering to get that save and close the game out. And just a good situational hitting overall by the Phillies today, so that was very nice to see. So overall, it's a good win. It's a good win by your Phils. It's all that matters at the end of the day. And it also does help because the Mets do not play today. I guess they don't start their series with the Atlanta Braves until tomorrow. And with this win, I guess it puts you 2 games back at the Mets or 1.5 games back at the Mets. I'm not sure if this updated or something. Okay, it did update. So you're 2 games behind the Mets at 43 and 29 with their series coming up against the Atlanta Braves. And just looking at what their respected series looks like with Atlanta, it's going to be Peterson against Schwellenbach, Blackburn against Sale, and Holmes against Elder. So that'll be a very interesting series for the Mets and see how that goes. Then, of course, with the Phillies series, it's Zach Wheeler against Miguel, Abel against Canning, and Luzardo against Peterson. So we'll get to that when it gets to that. And I do believe for tomorrow's game for the Phillies, I believe Jesus Luzardo is on the mound. If I am not mistaken, it should be. I probably just read it with the schedule that way. Yep, it'll be Jesus Luzardo against Cal Quantrill. Then it'll be Ranger Suarez against Edward Cabrera on Wednesday. And then Christopher Sanchez against a to-be-determined pitcher on Thursday. And like I said, tomorrow is in that weird 6:10 time slot. I have no idea why that is the case, but it's there. It's there. And then Wednesday and Thursday at the normal time of 6:40. So, yeah, very weird. Very weird. But overall, good game. Good game. Like I said, I still kind of wish Mick Abel went longer, but I kind of do understand the sentiment of letting him go off on a high note, and you probably don't want to overuse him and just I don't know. I kind of wish just to see him go 6 innings. That just would have been my preference at that point, and maybe not have to overuse your bullpen. But I guess Rob's also going with the mind point that you have Jesus Luzardo tomorrow, you have Ranger Suarez tomorrow, and also you have Jesus Luzardo tomorrow, Ranger Suarez on Wednesday, and Christopher Sanchez on Thursday. So there's a good chance for those guys to go at least 6 innings each, against this Miami Marlins team. So maybe that saves your bullpen by proxy at that point, and you can, risk with only forcing Mick Abel to go 5 innings, and then you use Walker, even though you did use your high leverage arms in this game, so hopefully your offense does give your other starters some more run support than they did with Nick Abel tonight. So maybe that can also help in that factor where you can just use your low leverage arms to get by Miami with a very large lead. So we'll see how that progresses as the series goes along. But overall, like I keep saying, good win tonight. And with all the craziness with yesterday and all that stuff, with following yesterday's Phillies game and then just going to the news dump that happened in that late Sunday, early evening, late afternoon timetable with Rafael Devers getting traded to the goddamn San Francisco Giants. That was crazy. Then you also get the announcement later on that evening as well that Shohei Ohtani is going to be making his pitching debut today on the mound against the San Diego Padres in Los Angeles. So that's definitely going to be some much-watched television tonight. That is in about a half hour at this point. So definitely some crazy things on the Boston Red Sox perspective. That is weird. That is weird that they even though there's a lot of stuff coming up about Rafael Devers. We all know, with spring training, how he wasn't really happy with them trying to tell him to be DH, and they kind of threw him off guard when they signed Alex Bregman. They would tell him he was going to play second base or something like that, and Devers could stay at third, but they signed Bregman to play third base. They wanted Devers to play DH, and Devers didn't want to. And then then they asked him to play first base. He didn't want to do that. And then he got pissed off when somebody else would volunteer to play first base or something like that. There's a lot of things here. And it's also to a mindset to where this team is paying you a lot of money. You should be able to listen and do what the team tells you to do. So there's faults on both sides. But it also didn't sound like that Devers wanted to be traded with all the problems that he had with their front office. He wanted to stay in Boston. So that really came out of left field. And they didn't even shop him either. I felt like if you were trying to trade Rafael Devers, you could have gotten a way better package. And I don't even know how you judge that based off that point. I think it's kind of a steal for the Giants. They're a team that has a very good pitching staff, a very good bullpen. And the one thing that is their biggest flaw is their offensive consistency. Their lineup really isn't the best. Their offense really isn't the best, and you go and get one of the best pure hitters in Major League Baseball. You add him to that lineup that really wasn't desperate, needed offense. And it kind of makes the Giants possibly a legitimate threat in the National League, possibly. And, they're going to be fighting back and forth with the Dodgers for that NL West for the entire season. So they add that to their lineup. That makes them definitely makes them a threat. So, weird. Just very weird. But, and we'll see what that means for the Red Sox going forward with the trade deadline and all that stuff. All the rumors about possibly Jarrett Duran even possibly being traded. A lot of people in the Phillies, around the Phillies say the Phillies should go after Jarrett Duran and, package him with Aroldis Chapman or something like that to bring, that package to Philadelphia. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. And who knows, maybe I would have loved Dave Dombrowski to take advantage of that, but I have no idea. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. But it's a little. We'll see what happens. And Roman Anthony also gets his first career Major League home run, the top prospect in Major League Baseball, so that's nice to see. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff overall. Good stuff from your Phils. Good stuff from your Phils. We do have one text message here on the Anytime Hotline. I'm trying to keep this short just because it's been a very long night, and I kind of want to do some other things here. So a little bit short, get to some of you guys here in the comments, and then we'll wrap it up. One text from Steven saying that a good win, Trea is on fire. I do agree with that, and this is a very good version of Trea Turner. Very good version. He's been playing some better defense lately. Bohm's been playing some very good defense as well. His bat has been very hot. Those two have been incredibly on fire, so that is a major boost for this lineup, especially, with a Kyle Schwarber that isn't having the best month of June. So he's going finally, I guess, through his first slump of the year, which was to be expected at some point. It just sucks that in his typical month of June where he normally does rake, it's the month where he struggles now. So that kind of does suck in that perspective. Nice to see Kepler get another home run, so just hopefully he can find some consistency there. If he can just hit for more power, hopefully that does something. But I'm not really buying more stock into that whatsoever. It's just nice to see him hit a home run. It's really just more so you're seeing consistency with some of the bats in your lineup and some of the more important bats in your lineup, like a Trea Turner, like an Alec Bohm. And especially with, Bohm with runners in scoring position, that was basically his bread and butter last year. So you really need that for him to be a factor there, and that's really huge as well. So, some of you guys in the comments, B-Man, how you doing? Thought Abel should have gone another inning. Odd bullpen management from Topper, but it worked out. I do agree with that. I definitely would have preferred Abel going 6, but I guess I can also understand him going off of a high note, but it would have been, give him a chance to go 6. Give him a chance. Are we coming back? Is it still too early for me? Take 3 or 4 from the fish, and then we'll talk must get revenge against the Mets. The Marlins series really isn't going to sway me into anything positive. Just take 3 or 4, do your job, and then what really will sway me is if you do get your revenge against the Mets. And also, it combines with the Mets and the Houston Astros. More so the Mets. Get your revenge against the Mets, especially after what they did at Citi Field to you earlier in the season. Get some revenge at your own ballpark this weekend, especially with all the national lights surrounded, because all those games are on national television. Is Marchand heating up? I have no idea. Thought Taiwan should have gone 2 and saved Romano for tomorrow. It is what it is. I guess Rob is also, like I said, Rob is probably playing to the factor that you have your better pitchers on the mound for the next 3 games of this series, so I guess you could take that risk. I don't know. Castellanos has been robbed of extra base hits like 4 to 6 times in the past week and a half. Yeah. Sometimes that just happens. And sometimes it happens a lot to the Phillies. Can't really explain it. I guess that's just baseball for you. I guess that's just baseball for you. So, you have the next 3 games in this series. Tomorrow, like I said, is at 6:10 with Luzardo on the mound. Let's see if he can continue his coming off of that good start against the Cubs and just continue momentum in the right direction for himself. So, yeah. Bit of a shorter stream tonight, boys, but pretty efficient stuff. So good stuff from the Phillies today. We'll be back tomorrow, most likely recapping tomorrow's game, just depending on what the game is or anything like that. If it's a very blah game or anything, we might not recap it. If it's an entertaining game, we'll see. We'll see where the day goes. We'll see where the night goes tomorrow. So. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Does me such a great deal of service with the algorithm. Use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Do not pass it up. And yeah, I'm going to continue watching Monday Night Raw from where I left off. And hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Good win by the Phils.